the last part of our lesson is looking at a cylinder, or the surface area of a cylinder. Okay, so a cylinder is a 3D shape, but surface area again is a 2D measure because we're looking at just the surface around the outside and the top and the bottom of our cylinder. We can see we've got a circle. Oh, my R is upside down. And we need a radius across the circle. All right, and we have 2 of them, so that would be easy to do. We can do area of a circle. But what about going around the outside? Well, the easiest way to see is to unfold this cylinder and see what shape it actually makes. Okay, and if we do that, we can see it makes a rectangle around the middle. Now, if we match it up to this picture here, we can see that we've got the top, right? And we have the bottom. And the height is actually the width of this rectangle. So we have the height. That's okay. That will be given in our problems. What we're going to need to figure out is the length of this rectangle because that is not given. Well, how do we figure out the length? Well, let's look at this one more time. If we roll it around here, okay, and you can see that this length wraps around the outside of my circle. Well, what is the measure around the outside of a circle called? That's circumference. The perimeter of a circle is circumference. So we know that this length here is actually the circumference of this circle. And we've got a formula for circumference. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to draw this shape really quick, okay? Because when we unfolded it, we got this rectangle with a circle, an R. Okay, this is our height, and this is the circumference. Circumference has 2 formulas, pi times diameter, or 2 times pi times r. Okay, these are the same thing because diameter is 2 times the radius. All right, so not different formulas, they're just expressed differently. We're going to have to do the area of a circle, which is pi r squared, and since our formula then is going to have r in it, we're going to go ahead and use this one for our length instead of pi d. We want to keep as few variables as possible. Okay, so surface area, let's go. We've got, in most books, it's going to give you the area of this rectangle first, so let's do that. Okay, we need the circumference for our length, 2 pi r, times the width of the rectangle, which is the height, plus the area of our circle. So that's pi r squared, and there's 2 circles, so we need 2 pi r squared. Okay, if you're not familiar with the area of a circle, please go back and watch that video or find someone else who's got a good video on it so that you understand if that's confusing for you. All right, now let's go ahead and do this in an example. So we're going to work with this cylinder right here. As always, I write down my formula first. So 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. And now I'm going to substitute my values. I need pi r and h. Pi equals 3.14 all the time, okay? And we just need r and h. So let's look at our picture. R is 10 feet, that's the radius going across, okay, halfway across. And our height is given as 2 feet. So we can go ahead and start substituting into our formula. So surface area equals 2 times pi times r times h, which is 2, plus 2 times pi times, let's see, we're getting to the end of our paper here, r squared, so 10 squared. Okay. Now, these 2 terms here, with our order of operation, we're actually allowed to work on both terms simultaneously going down. We don't have to work on one and then the other. We could work them both at the same time as long as we don't do this addition until both of these terms have been solved. Okay, on this term here, we have an exponent, so that has to be dealt with before we do any multiplication across, but this one doesn't have any exponents, so we can just start to multiply. All right, I'm always looking for the easiest way to multiply my numbers with the least complicated math, okay? Powers of 10 are excellent. I love powers of 10 because then it just means I'm moving a decimal place, okay? So if I times this by 10, I'm going to move the decimal over 1 because there's 1 0 there. So that leaves me with 2 times 31.4. The 10 is gone, times 2 plus. Now if I look over here, 10 squared means 10 times 10. That is 100. Ooh, another power of 10. Okay, 2 zeros. That tells me to move the decimal 1, 2. So that means 3.14 times 100 is 314. If you don't believe me, you can check. Okay. But that would be for a different lesson if you're not sure about that. Let's keep going. Okay, now I could double and then double again, and that's not bad. That would actually be pretty good mental math, but I don't want to do too much mental math because I think that will get confusing on the video. So let's work it out. Let's do 2 times 2 is 4, okay, and let's do 31.4 times 4. Let's write that over here. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 1, sorry, is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. I have 1 decimal place, and I have no decimal places, so that's 1 in my answer. We start on the right, we move over 1 to the left, so that gives me 125.6 plus 2 times 314. Now, these numbers are small enough, they're less than 5, so that means if I double them, I'm not going to have to worry about carrying anything. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's just 628. Now I can add these two numbers together. Now let's do that over here because I've got a decimal involved. I want to make sure I don't make a mistake. Plus, let's put 0.0. Oops, sorry there. 0 plus 6 is 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, now with addition, we just bring the decimal straight down. We're not counting decimal places like with multiplication. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our answer is 753.6. All right, our units, if we look back at our original shape here, were feet. So that means our answer is 753.6 feet squared because we're dealing with area.